Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Imperial Scholars Podcast. My name is Mitch. My co-host is the Rad Dude. And today we follow through with the next step of the Sigmar Omnibus, the Sigmar Legacy, the Sigmar, the Heldenhammer, the man himself. This one's going to be a bit more scatterbrained. I had to think about how to go about this episode because this one's a bit more just like stuff happens and it's a lot more fast paced. I was like, how do I structure this? So I'm going to try my best here with this one.
Well, it's like an episode of like Game of Thrones where it's like 5 plots at the same time.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's what's going on here. The next few books here basically cover mostly other side characters. So, or it's just Sigmar going from scene to scene to scene to scene. And he gets like 50 things done. So it's hard to congeal that into a focused narrative of one guy's monologue.
I mean, hey, it's our boy Sigmar. He always gets stuff done.
Well,
He's
I mean, he's a Norse legend, basically, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like Beowulf.
Yeah, I can see that.
So, yeah, this one we're going to cover, because last time we covered Sigmar was a youthful dude. He was out with his lady. Then Azazel, who was still immortal at this point, shanked him, killed his girlfriend, and his dad died, and now he's woken up super mega depresso.
Yeah, last I recall, I think it was like he was caught by a fishnet by some other tribe or just in the region, away from his main settlement, and got his ghost dad vision thingy.
Yes, yeah, that was, yes. His dad died. He had a weird vision of like, it was almost like a Lion King thing of being like, help me fight off these monsters within the warp, and goes on to, yeah, basically say, bye, Dad, we'll miss you. And then he wakes up into the real world, realizing I've lost everything. And now I'm also in charge of leading my clan. But right now I'm hardcore depressed, and he does what anybody after a breakup does, or what most guys after a breakup does, wallows in hard booze. Literally just wallows around, does the bare minimal work to govern the town, and just drinks dwarven ale.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah, he's going through the grieving process. But then he goes through the next process, which is like, what do most guys do when they go through a breakup? Well, they drink booze, and then they want to better themselves, and then they go and hit the gym. So he actually goes to Master ULRIC, the dwarf, and Lily goes, bro, I need you to make me some dumbbells. Time to get these thick gains going.
Nice. And plus, it wasn't really a breakup. Like, his girlfriend died.
Well, fair enough. Okay, it was not a breakup, but the scenario is almost, the parallels are pretty evident here.
It's quite a big difference, I would say, but fine.
Fair enough. But his means of going about it, or the parallels are similar, being like, I'm going to drink myself into a stupor, and now it's time to get some sick gains, bruh.
He probably drank enough, got a bit of a dwarf beer gut of some kind. I was like, crap. All right.
Yeah, it's just Fat Thor. So Fat Thor Sigmar decides it's time to get back into shape. It's time to govern the town. Goes through a big Rocky Balboa training montage, lifting heavy weights. And then finally his friends come around and are kind of like, all right, bro, like, this isn't really the means of going about this. You're going through the grieving process. Sigmar loses it and snaps at one of them. You don't know what I'm dealing with, bruh. And then later on, he realizes his error and goes, hey, sorry, man. Been going through a lot of shit. And it's like, yeah, we get it. It's all good. We got you, homie.
A question.
Yes.
Did Sigmar get Galmaraz back? Because last I remember, Azazel or Girion, like at the time, kind of tossed it to the side. And then like that's when Sigmar became unconscious, just floated downriver.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I just realized that, actually. Yeah, he does have Galmaraz still. I don't know how he goes about getting it. I think it's literally a situation of, oh, we found it and we brought it back to you. Like, we went out to go and find Azazel. We couldn't find him, but we did find Galmaraz and we brought it back to you.
Okay, that's good. At least he has that thing in his life.
Yeah. He doesn't have his girlfriend or his dad, but he does have his hammer. So at least he's got that going for him.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, at this point, Sigmar's going, oh, fuck, okay, everything sucks, but I got a duty, and also I have my dream. And at this point, he's going, yep, time to start playing the role of Sigmar and going and uniting the tribes.
Okay, he's still going for his, like, unite humanity as much as he can. Cool.
Yep, yeah, as well, yeah, I mean, you know the lore, so it's like, obviously he was going to get around to that at some point. realistically, it's a thing of you read the book and he goes through the grieving process pretty quick. But in a weird way, it's like I'm kind of thankful because it's like, yeah, I also don't need to read for like 6 months about Sigmar drinking and lifting weights. But I do appreciate how weirdly relatable it is.
But yeah, I mean, if your girlfriend dies, you don't just get over that next day. It's like, all right, moving on to the next thing.
No, and Sigmar kind of uses it as like a thing of, oh, I guess I can distract myself by assembling the tribes in the meantime.
Mm-hmm.
So he takes all of his good friends and he takes all of his comrades, he takes all of his forces, and he goes amongst the different tribes. Some of the tribes he's familiar with. Some of the tribes have good relations with Sigmar, others not so much. And he resorts to any which way he really has to get the tribes to gather under one banner. So in some scenarios, he's going to one tribe he knows well because his dad had good relations. It's led by this woman who is basically this Amazoness, goddess woman. And a lot of the tribes are filled with these Amazon warrior ladies, right? That's kind of their shtick. So his way of going about it is, I bring you all these fine gifts. I want to have collaboration and peace amongst our people. As he goes, why don't we discuss it in my chambers? And the next scene is him pretty much limping out, going towards a hot spring to recuperate after she just banged his brains out all night and he didn't get any sleep.
So it's really like Futurama with the snoo, except no death.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's the Futurama bit.
Wait, was it just him or like others of his men?
Well, he has one buddy later on who goes, it's just him who has to do this for the sake of having good relations with the queen. But then his entourage comes around, her entourage comes around, and she just comes up and is like, you there. And she just grabs him by the balls and goes like, come back and see me when the summertime comes and the snow melts. And later on, that dude starts a family with this chick.
Oh, like kind of hot.
Yeah. The thing is with the books is that it actually covers other side characters and they have their own narrative. So that's the aspect of like reading the book that I'm not going to cover and why. Recommend the books. They're really fun.
Question. What's the name of this Amazon tribe woman here?
Oh, shoot. I gotta be honest. I don't remember off the top of my head.
Okay.
I gotta go. Yeah, I mean, she's a common character. She reoccurs throughout the series. And unfortunately, I just came into this completely unprepared. Yeah, but there's this Amazon tribe woman who makes it throughout the franchise and is a common ally of Sigmar throughout the thing. I really should have looked her up later because she'll come in important for a whole nother aspect too. Anyway,
so is her tribe complete Amazon stuff, or is it just that she as a woman is leading the tribe and it's just like a mixture of both, really?
It's a mixture of both, but I think it's like 70% females. It kind of is the Futurama skit.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. And then the other like 30% of like hardy dudes who are just kind of like, you gotta be really like, you gotta be tough to be hanging around these ladies. Anyways.
Understood.
Yeah. It's a tribe of dommies.
So it's literally like the I think this is like from almost real life mythology where it's like the labors of Hercules.
Yep.
It's literally like the girdle of Hippolyta, I think her name was. It's kind of like that, except he doesn't kill the entire Amazon tribe at the end.
I don't know about the one that comes to my mind. That's like I don't know too well about that one. I don't remember that one, but it's kind of like that. There was a famous Celtic girl who like led her people after being like tortured by Romans, and she like rode around in a chariot and like led the tribes.
Oh, I did not know about that one.
There's so many parallels I'm sure we could go over, but
probably.
But yes, it's a
just
big dummy.
Like a big hunking dude that was like come by, and the queen's like, how about we talk about trade or whatever in the bedchambers, and then they just like have a passionate night, and then they go about their separate ways. Like no marriage or anything like that, just nice fun.
Pretty much, yep. And that's how he gets that tribe to join forces with his tribe, and he gathers an ally. There's a handful of other tribes that he already has good relations with. I think Middenheim is one of these places that it's like they already had good relations with the guys there. Another group that one I remember quite fondly was like I think it's Ostland. I think it's like, ancient Ostland where they got this like giant structure that's on the top of a mountain. And, it is sort of this Herculean thing of like the labors of Sigmar where he's like, how are we going to get up there and talk to these guys and try to convince them to join with us? He goes, well, there's only one way up. And they climb this mountain hold. But of course, like, it's kind of like Sigmar didn't think it through entirely. So he gets to the top of this mountain hold. He climbs the whole way up. But then he also, like, climbs up the armed, like, walls. So he just gets to the top, and then those guys with spears and crossbows waiting for him, being like, hey, how's it going? Get in here. You're now our prisoner. And we'll take you to go and talk to the chief. He goes, he talks to oh, go ahead.
It's like it's like he climbed those stairs from Lord of the Rings that Frodo and Sam did with Gollum, I'm guessing. It's kind of like that thing where just climbing the side of a mountain from the sound of it, and then climbing the walls, and then he gets captured.
Pretty much, yep. It's like, well, it's like
that's weird.
Climbing into, like, the capital city.
I mean, sure, it makes sense. Like, it's a good defensible position. Just wondering, like, how it came to be. But then, yeah, this is Warhammer. Like, some stuff doesn't really make sense, but that's the fun of it.
Yeah, it's a guy with a giant Warhammer forged by dwarves just casually climbing the side of a mountain. Like, it is what it is.
Yeah, well, he's a badass. That part makes sense.
Oh,
that's all you need.
Nothing about it is being like if that's where we draw the line of realism, we're gonna have some issues further on ahead.
I know. I'm just trying to think like Austin. Like the thing is, I just don't know much about Austin other than that it's like Eastern Empire and like usually getting attacked by orcs and other stuff most of the time. So
yeah. So yeah, he gets to the top of this mountain hold. I could be mistaking that it's not Oslan, right? But it's this big mountain hold that he has to go up into, and the guy there has kind of been this sort of corrupt lord that they're not all that fond of. He goes and fights the lord and goes like, hey, if I beat you, like I get control of the tribe. It's classic sort of like, it's like the Norskin sort of mindset of being like, oh, I beat your leader, so now your tribe is with me. It's like if that's kind of the way that they operate, being like, if I beat you in Mortal Kombat, one of us will lead the other army and lead the tribes. And we'll conglomerate into one. But Sigmar, even though he kind of like takes everyone under his banner, he realizes it's like everyone has their own culture amongst the tribes, and I intend to respect that. I don't intend to like conglomerate our people into one thing and just completely discard the prior narratives, the prior traditions of our people.
That sounds nice. Like you said, like he's going about it and trying to be unique and versatile, where it's like some, it's like, oh, he already had good relations, maybe a few beers, other with the ladies, like you said, flowers and chocolate and a good time. And then with this guy, it's like beating in Mortal Kombat.
Yep. Another dude he goes and talks to, and it's like, oh, by the way, would you care to join with us? He goes, oh, my son, we've been getting terrorized by a dragon ogre, and my son went out to go and fight it, but he can't find it, so if you go and deal with that dragon ogre, we'll join forces. And Sigmar's like, all right, bet. Sure enough, he goes up, climbs this mountain, there's a dragon ogre waiting for him, and he fights this dragon ogre and wins, which is pretty unparalleled for just one guy to do. But it's Sigmar, nuts of tungsten, Chadwick, Heldenhammer. So, I mean, it makes sense.
Wait, regular Dragon Ogre or Dragon Ogre Shaggoth?
I think it was just a standard Dragon Ogre.
Still pretty impressive regardless.
It is, yeah. I mean, because it would be intense to me being like, so let me get this straight. Malekith couldn't deal with a Shaggoth, but Sigmar could.
Well, I thought you said it was a regular one, not a Shaggoth in this context here.
No, I know. I'm saying if it were a Shaggoth,
probably,
that would be intense.
Yes, it would.
It'd make Malekith seem like a real bitch, actually. But anyways.
Well, maybe if he didn't put the crown on, he would still be a Chad. But yeah, who knows?
Yeah, that is true, actually. Yeah. Sorry, Malekith, you got done dirty, bro. But
he was, but then there were just some parts where it's like, okay, you chose this for yourself, buddy.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, it's a thing of he got fed up with everyone else just kind of taking his shit for granted, and he was like, you know what, taking my ball and leaving and going to Nagaroth. Anyways, this is a Sigmar episode. Every time I get distracted by Malekith in a narrative, one way or another. So, Sigmar...
Yes. Sorry about that. Sorry about it. He is a good character, though. Anyway, continuing.
He is a good character. Anyways, but I gotta get back to Sigmar. Sigmar deals with this dragon ogre. He goes back and talks to this leader somewhere in the mountain areas of the Empire at this point, and he goes, oh, I dealt with your monster, and, now we're buddies. And he goes, oh, yeah, and also I found your son's ring, so he's probably dead. Sorry about that, bro. And the guy confesses, he's like, I actually sent you out there with no impression that you would actually live. So the fact that you did, I'm more than happy to join forces with you.
Cool, I guess.
Yeah. So Sigmar goes about doing all these different tasks, all these different labors to try to get everyone under one empire, to have them join forces against whatever nightmares of Warhammer might come to attack them. Mind you, at this point, too, the Norskins are pretty much like when Sigmar's dad went and fought, like he did drive the Norskins back, so that issue is resolved.
Okay, sounds good.
So the only thing now to deal with right now is being like, hey, now that you've gathered all the forces, I should let you know, big-ass Orkwog is gathering at Blackfire Pass.
Okay, now this is the second event that I know about Sigmar. First one was like Azazel was part of his backstory, and now this is the most famous one.
And this is where Sigmar goes, all right, gather the Rohirrim, gather all of our forces, we march on to war. And so he takes all of the gathered tribes and they head off towards Blackfire Pass and is like, all right, time to put up or shut up. And once they get there, wouldn't you know it, the High King of the Dwarfs is there to be like, oh, good to see you, lad. You didn't think we'd leave you to this on your own, did you? Because the second they deal with you guys, they're coming after us. So it's a gathered force of humans and dwarfs to fight off this massive orc war at Blackfire Pass and make sure that they do not, just swarm in, flood into the Empire's domain.
Oh, that's kick-ass right there.
It's pretty baller. I mean, at this point, both of the armies are pretty, the dwarves aren't as technologically advanced, but the fight scene is amazing to read because it's one thing to go, yeah, they fought. But the level of testosterone in this fight is ridiculous. It's like Baki level, where it describes the Empire fighting against the orcs, and one Empireman gets hacked across the gut, and his, guts are spilling out. And he grabs his own intestines and strangles an orc to death.
God damn.
This is some metal ass shit going on right now. It's going down.
Well, what? Is someone headbutting orcs to death or something like that too?
Oh yeah, pretty much. It's just the level of crudeness in this fight is next level. Just metal and grit. There's no finesse to it. They got berserkers going left and right, hacking through orcs. They got this queen of this Amazoness queen riding around in a chariot, just running dudes down with her Amazoness women. It's just bedlam. It's just madness. And on top of the, flying above the battle scene is an orc war boss on a giant wyvern. And the fight goes back and forth. Some of the lords of different places are killed, and, some of their entourages are pretty much just slaughtered by the orcs. And eventually Sigmar goes, there's only one solution to this. There's only one way that we're going to resolve this without everyone being killed. And he goes and challenges the orc war boss. And the orc war boss, seeing a good fight, flies down, and Sigmar fights the wyvern and the war boss one-on-one, and just, typical Sigmar, just destroys them. I mean, he does have a fight ahead of him, but he wins the fight and sends the orc fleeing back to the Badlands.
So this is, what this sounds like? This sounds exactly like Battle of Thermopylae 300 style, where it's I bet it's a bunch of dudes with just rippled 8-pack abs doing slow motion against the orcs.
Yep, pretty much. Just a bunch of hard-hitting dudes with just bodybuilder physiques, just strangling orcs to death, biting at them, gnawing at them. It's pretty, at this point, the Empiremen fight with the rabidness of a Skaven, basically.
Honestly, I played Empire in the Total War Warhammer games, and those guys sound way better than how the Empire currently is, if I'm honest.
Oh, they are, 100%. The ancient, ways of the Empire would easily, decimate the standard swordsman.
Well, just because they didn't have guns back then, that's probably why.
Pretty much, yeah. That's the reason why, because they're operating with bows and arrows and guns, and whatever the dwarfs are willing to teach them for gunpowder, which is pretty limited.
Well, yeah. I was going to say, the humans sound awesome. I'm assuming the dwarves are doing just as metal stuff, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Well, the dwarves are not the slayers are, sure. But the dwarves are still operating in full plate armor and having battle formations. They're creating this wall of steel that the orcs will not get by.
Nice.
It's kind of unfortunate. They do kind of do the humans dirty in that regard, where it's yes, the dwarves are this impenetrable wall of armor and grit. And humans are just kind of this, the humans versus orcs is two sledgehammers just whacking against each other.
I see. So it's like the dwarves were still about self-preservation, and just like the humans, like, they'll just walk into death as long as we're holding the line.
Pretty much. It's like the humans, like the best analogy is like the dwarves versus the orcs is like a chainsaw versus a concrete wall. And humans versus humans is a chainsaw versus another chainsaw. It's
Sounds
just
pretty
madness.
Nice. I mean, hey, you don't really blame the dwarves. I'm sure they still view the humans as like what we view as like monkeys or chimpanzees.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah. It's just primitive. But they do succeed. They drive the orcs back into the Badlands, and this big battle is basically where the humans go, yeah, Sigmar, you truly are. You really are the Heldenhammer. You really are the Warhammer 40k. And we're going to dub you as champion and emperor of all of man in the western area.
Awesome. I'm going to look up the details of this later on, just see like how metal it can get from your description.
The book is, you really need to read the book. You really need to read the book to get the full idea. Like I said, there's orcs that are getting like, just like bodied by people just like dogpiling on them. There's people that are like strangling the orcs with their own intestines before they're, dead. And just berserkers just like going nuts and just screaming their heads off.
Out of curiosity, were there any like big war beasts from the Greenskin side? You mentioned a wyvern, but did they have like a giant or anything as well?
Yeah, they do have trolls at one point. I don't think they have giants, but they do have some trolls that go and, act as shock troops. And one of them is, kills, I think, the Lord of Middenheim. One of the lords of somewhere, but I mean, it's a giant war, and like some of the lords are killed, some of them manage to live.
Right, makes sense. It was just brutal on both sides from the sound of it.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm assuming the orc numbers were just massive compared to the other side.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that is what it is that the orcs outnumbered the humans, I think, like 5-1. But the humans and dwarves, just through determination, managed to hold them back. And then Sigmar managed to destroy their morale by killing the war boss. And it puts all the human berserkers into a crazy... The human berserkers after the war boss is killed, it's kind of like Blood Angels in 40k, where they just... And they just, like, charge completely, like, 10 times more ferocity. And it makes everyone else just run away in fear.
So, out of curiosity, did Amazon Queen lady, did she survive the battle?
Yep, she'll survive. She will survive throughout most of this story.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. I will have to, hang on. I'm going to do us a favor. I'm going to edit this, but you know what? I will find the name. I'll find the name next episode.
I think it is right. I think it's right here. It says during his lifetime, like Sigmar met with the fiery Freya, queen of the Azurborn tribe. Is that her?
Yep, that's the one. Yep, Queen Freya. I forgot it was Freya. God. No wonder I couldn't think. It was like, it's that on the nose. Like, what do we name the queen of the Amazonas? We'll name her after the wife of Odin. Okay.
I mean, Freya could be a badass from what I heard in mythology.
Yes, that's my point. It's just being like, we'll have the most badass female of the Norse times, and we'll make that the queen of the Amazonas lady, berserker, or charioteers.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that Queen Freya is... one of the closest comrades of Sigmar throughout this entire narrative. She survives this. The Empire survives this giant attack by the orcs. And at this point, Sigmar goes and this is bizarre to me. Because I didn't realize that when Sigmar was dubbed as emperor, he wasn't just like elected by the people. He was almost like selected by ULRIC the god.
Okay.
So there's a scene where they go out into this like frozen tundra, not like in the North Sky or whatever, but just this frozen lake area. And there's this weird, I don't even know how to describe it. This weird moment where this character comes out with 2 wolves, and he himself is covered in wolf pelts and stuff like this. And this character is referred to as ULRIC.
ULRIC?
ULRIC. This is like the mortal champion of ULRIC, but he's this. It's kind of like we can't have ULRIC himself come out, so we have this sort of stand-in come out to dub Sigmar. And this guy comes out with this big ass pot. He's got 2 wolves next to him, and he goes like, "All right, like basically, I'm going to baptize you and see if you are a worthy champion to be the Lord of Man, of the Germanics.
Oh, like a holding off a big ass green skin wall wasn't enough, huh?
No, he needs to be chosen by the gods and prove his might. So Sigmar goes forward and strips butt ass naked and hops into this cauldron of like glacial water. And it's kind of this weird thing where he just it's a Harry Potter tent deal where he goes into this pot and it's like this just, frozen ocean sort of area that Sigmar kind of has this mystical experience to get through. And he proves himself, he proves his might, he proves his loyalty, and emerges out of the glacial pot where if he had not, he probably would have just drowned and never been seen again.
Oh, it's a really big pot, huh?
Like I said, it's the Harry Potter effect where it's like they go in, like they go into the tent in Harry Potter and it's like a mansion inside. That's this pot. On the outside, it's just a cauldron. On the inside,
okay, gotcha. It's pretty much like an ocean or something.
Yeah. It's this glacial sort of abstract. I mean, it's a deity's pot, basically, right? Like it's this weird mystical stuff can happen.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So he goes in and he emerges and is basically baptized to be like, oh yes, you will be the emperor of the tribes. And at this point, I think it's either Master Ulrich, that dwarf from earlier, or the High King comes forward and is like, I will dub you with this crown crafted by my people. And it will be a standing of, our good faith of the Ungi and the Dawi, and also as your standing as emperor. And he is dubbed as emperor with this crown.
Also, gotta say, pretty interesting. That's it was Ulrich, right? God of frost and wolves, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Being the main deity.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. He enters like a pod going to freezing waters of Ulrich, kind of like an analysis to the flames of Assyrian, maybe.
Oh God, yeah, you're right. I wasn't even thinking about that. Yeah. Also, so
I'm just saying
so Sigmar is the first, but here's the weird thing: no one else has to do this.
Well, yeah, I know. From what I know about Empire lore, nobody else has to do that. But yeah,
no. So yeah, it's Malekith is coming back once again. Yeah. Here, Malekith, get in this pot. All right, we never saw him again.
Maybe we'll actually just make him frozen for all time.
Pretty much. He would have just been disappeared into the glacial waters, and that would have been the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
Tragic. Yeah, and there's nothing else. So basically, it's the human version of the Flame of Assyrian is this pot.
Well, I'm sure Mommy Marathi would have came and just pulled him out. Because she always does.
Well, he disappears is the thing. Like, Sigmar goes in, and it's not like the Flame of Assyrian where it's like you see the guy, and it just spits him out if he's rejected.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Sorry, forgot about that fact.
Yeah, so Marathi would have been gone too, being like, all right, well, there they both go. There goes the Lords of Nagaryth. Bye, guys.
No, geez, that would have solved 70% of the world's problems right there.
Yeah, pretty much. Unfortunately, they got the Flame of Assyrian, and if that thing rejects you, it doesn't kill you. It just spits you out again.
Anyway, sorry for making another Malekith one. Might as well do a tally.
It always goes full circle. It always comes back to Malekith. To be fair, in Warhammer Fantasy, most lore comes back to Malekith. He's behind most of this shit.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Sigmar is spit out of this pot, and he's dubbed worthy, and he goes on to become emperor of all of this good stuff. The entire time, by the way, that old crone who was talking to Sigmar's daddy, she's been talking to Sigmar this whole time, being like, you must pursue your destiny, and also your girlfriend had to die because causality. He's like, thanks. Appreciate that.
So, wait, this crone was actually helpful to him so far.
The crone, he goes to the crone and it's like, well, Ravina had to die. It was foretold so that you would actually go forth and be productive. It was to light a fire under your ass to get moving. So the crone just kind of, the crone in this plays a similar role to the Raven Herald in Alethanar's narrative. She shows up, she basically says, this is what's going to happen, this is why it had to happen, and then disappears.
Okay.
That's it. She doesn't play a role in doing anything. She explains what is going to happen or what has already been, and then disappears.
Okay.
The difference was with this, I was reading it going I wonder if this old crone is going to come into play as some Zechian No, nothing happens. So anyways, the old crone is showing up here and there, just kind of leading Sigmar through mystical, dark, woo-woo stuff. Moving on along, Sigmar goes on and is kind of like, all right, time to manage this thing. He goes on and he deals with all this other weird stuff where at one point he goes to, I think it's Marienburg, and there's a plight going forth, and they do this weird thing where there's this sage who goes, oh, I know how to deal with this. We have to go and sacrifice a virgin, because of course that's what they come to the conclusion of. And they chose to sacrifice the princess of that town, the king's or prince's sister. And Sigmar goes and intervenes, going like, this is no way to deal with this issue. He fights off a demon insurrection because a bunch of weird demons come out to try and kill the princess. He fights them off, and they do what is referred to as the thrice death. This was interesting to me. This is kind of like the Blood Eagle. The Empire has this thing called the thrice death, where they go like, anyone who has committed the worst blasphemy, they have them eat poison, then they go and they take them out to a bog or something, some body of water, drown them to the point of unconsciousness, and then beat them over the head till their skull cracks.
Okay, cool.
It's basically the Blood Eagle in the sense that also if this happens to you, you're basically guaranteed to not go to the afterlife of like ULRIC's halls, Valhalla.
Okay, and like, what is considered the most blasphemous act besides maybe summoning demons, just from the sound of it?
Well, in this case, yeah, it was the fact that this guy was playing the role of a sage and was just like, I have a solution, but it's actually total bullshit and just, it's a total garbage, and you basically were about to just have a nobility character killed for nothing. Okay. I don't really know why they thought this guy was worthy of the thrice death. Usually this is just done out of spite.
Must have been a real asshole or just a annoying little guy if they wanted to do that on him.
It was just the fact that, I guess there's something about it being a royal family, because it wasn't like this guy was shown to be like the cause of this plague that was blighting the town. It was just like he was just bullshit. He was just a con artist for some, I don't know, some lesser deity of some sort. I don't even know. It's a very weird narrative. But he's dead anyway.
Okay, so all right, so they solved the sage problem. What about the plague?
The plague did actually get resolved when Sigmar went and killed the demons, actually. But it was weird because it sounds like he fought Slaneshi demons and it resolved the plague. Anyways.
Okay, that's all right. Fine.
There's really nothing to. I know it's a weird scene that was just like I thought I should just throw it in there, because I thought the thrice death was an interesting concept.
So, like you said, the thrice death is like make the guy drink poison, then like waterboard him or like drown him to unconsciousness, not to death, and just beam over the head until he like split the skull in twain. Pretty much, yep. And it's just a means of making sure he doesn't go to the afterlife. Yeah, or maybe it's just that perhaps maybe Sigmar especially takes honesty like very seriously, just from the sound of it, perhaps. He does, yes. It kind of is weird. It kind of seems like this guy was almost a chaos worshiper, but there was nothing to actually indicate that. He was just kind of this Grima Wormtongue kind of character. Almost like a Shang Tsung without the magic, perhaps, just being the snake oil guy. Yeah, pretty much. So it wasn't like the guy was necessarily malicious or anything. He was just like, yeah, I have some advice for you, my lord. Like I said, Grima Wormtongue, but it wasn't like he was for Saruman. So, yeah, it was just bizarre. But this guy, apparently, his crime was enough to just get him thrice deathed. It's like, I know how to solve this forest fire issue going on. Just cut down all the trees. Yeah. And it was like, all right, well, you're clearly full of shit. So we're going to Blood Eagle you. What? It's like they Blood Eagle him just for being stupid more than anything. Yeah, your stupidity and your foolishness has caused us to give you the worst potential death that we can think of. That's just mean. Well, I mean, he wanted to sacrifice a princess, didn't he? He was a shithead, but it was like, I don't know, it's like, well, you have the village idiot just like Grima Wormtonguing this guy. I don't really think he's to blame. Anyways. Moving on along, another key narrative here that I should have covered first is there's a weird thing going on with Sigmar goes and is brought to this place, and I think Middenheim, and he's brought down to this secret cellar.
And in the cellar, they're like, we've captured this thing and we don't know what it is. And it's just a zombie. It's this undead thing that isn't moving. And it delivers a message to Sigmar basically saying, hey, I am at, I think it's the Brass Keep at this point. I'm at the Brass Keep. Come and fight me, coward. And then the zombie just falls over dead. Sigmar gathers his forces, realizing, hey, there's some weird necromancy going on. We gotta go and deal with these guys. And yeah, we'll go and deal with this. He brings this dragon banner, which is like the dragon banner of war. Basically, kill everything. We're not dealing with people. Just our job is to exterminate all the vampires and necromancy in this place. He goes to this place.
Now they're dealing with undead here.
Now we're dealing with the undead briefly at this point. This is the only situation.
Okay, that's an interesting twist, because before it was, like you said, Norskins, Beastmen, and Orcs really being the main threats.
Yeah. This is a thing of like, there's just this one necromancer that has been plaguing this area, and Sigmar's going to go and deal with him now. And the necromancer has this cryptic message of like, I am the survivor of something. I forget the name exactly, but he doesn't know if it's a town, if it's an attack, what it is. But he goes and fights the necromancer one-on-one, and the necromancer has this weird, creepy crown on its head. Sigmar goes and is able to endure the magic of the crown and manages to kill the sorcerer, who then just turns into ash and disappears like, a vampire.
Mm-hmm.
Thing is that one of his good buddies was corrupted by the sorcery of the necromancer and starts to age rapidly and looks like an 80-year-old man. And he can tell that this guy's about to die. Sigmar takes the crown from the necromancer and uses the crown to invigorate his buddy and bring him back to his youthful look, and realizes, wow, this crown actually has some super crazy powers. I should use this thing. Let me get rid of my crown that I'm wearing now and put this thing on my head. The next scene... oh, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say, like, all right, so he was wearing the dwarven crown, but now he decided to replace that to save his buddy's life. I mean, makes sense.
It makes sense why he puts on this necromancer crown, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
To be like, I can save people with this. So it's done with good.
Okay.
It's just it's kind of the situation of what's his name from Lord of the Rings being like, "Don't tempt me, Frodo."
It's Gandalf with the ring, I'm guessing. Pretty
much, right? Like, I would want to do good with this, but you can already tell it's like it's a necromancer's crown. This is not going to go well. So he goes and takes the crown, and the thing was that at this point there was an attack by this group that were just these nomads of the Empire. They were kind of like, the Lore of the Shades from Nagaroth?
Not entirely. All I know is that they're the kind of like the Shadow Warrior equivalent for the Dark Elves.
Yeah, the Shades are like outcasts of Nagaroth. They chose to live as nomads by choice, and it sounds like this group is similar, where they're kind of just living in the woods in these clans, but they're not collective people. They're really more they're like druids almost.
So they sound very unruly and not very organized, or not wanting to be like, organized like a township of any kind.
Pretty much, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The thing was, they were neutral, and at one point they were blackmailed by some Norskins to attack a Empire village along with the Norskins. And Sigmar had been going like, I have to deal with these guys eventually, right? But he held it off because he's like, this necromancer is more important. It's literally playing Warhammer Total War as the Empire and going like, which threat do I need to deal with first? The Norskins, the vampires, or whatever else, right?
Beastmen, got greenskins. You're going to have maybe even the Bretonnians because they're assholes.
Yeah, maybe some random dwarf from like some random on the Grey Mountains might choose to fight you. Who knows?
Yeah.
So he's dealing with all that, and he goes, okay, now we can go and fight this group. When he goes and fights this group, he doesn't do it with the same nobility that he was like fighting wars against other humans with, or like trying to, solve disputes. He goes with the same level of ferocity as he was with the vampires, being like, no, we're going to exterminate them.
So he probably saw them as lesser beings who are just not worthy of joining him, perhaps.
Well, the thing was that as he's fighting them, he put on that crown, mind you, and all of a sudden he's looking a lot paler and his eyes are looking a lot more sunken.
Oh.
Yeah, he's going through Gollum-esque transformations right now.
Or not even that. It was what was the name of that king of Rohan? Like, well, it was under Saruman's control, where it's like he was visibly aging more than he should be.
Yeah, it's pretty much that. He's just slowly turning into this weird gremlin-looking thing, where he's just looking real stern and sunken, and his attitude has gotten real just crappy with everything. Well, to the point that he's like, you know what? No, genocide. And everyone's like, what the hell are we doing, man? Like, we can't be doing this. And later on, so he goes and deals with this group. He doesn't, he does kill a lot of them. He doesn't kill all of them, but he does kill a lot of them as his retribution, I guess. The relations with that group is never really clear. It's never clear how he reprimands that or if he reprimands that. But later on, there's been some disputes among some of his counts, as there always is with the Empire. And this dispute has been going on for some time now that, like, they're pointing fingers. They're saying, no, he started it. They're attacking my lands. No, you're attacking my lands. Sigmar was trying to be diplomatic. And now, all of a sudden, he decides, you know what? No, I'm going to take you out into the woods, out into the bogs, and I'm going to execute both of you. Which is like, you can't just execute these guys who are like royalty, bro.
So, like you said, it's just like regular nobility dispute, but instead the king is like, you know what, I'm just going to eliminate you two because I'm just getting annoyed of you guys babbling.
Yeah, pretty much. And he goes, the dispute has gone on for long enough and I'm getting fed up with it and now I'm going to kill you. Which is very out of character for Sigmar to be resorting to killing, because he actually has like a good friendship going on with these guys. And all of a sudden it's like, no, now it's time for the hammer to literally come down and kill both of you out in the middle of the woods where no one will know. And one of his friends comes out and is like, you can't do this. I won't allow you to do this. And I think they go through a scuffle. He manages to get the crown off of Sigmar, or get Sigmar like kind of aware enough to be like, holy shit, what am I doing? Sigmar runs off into the bog and is fighting off of the forces of the crown. He's fighting off the temptation because this thing is literally whispering to him like the One Ring.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah, and I think you probably already know whose voice it is whispering to him. We got a necromancer crown.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, actually, I remember like reading in Sigmar lore earlier in my, like a few years ago, about this third event that would come up.
Mm-hmm. And the crown is whispering to him, and he has a vision of Ravina, who tells him, hey, my love, don't take this crown. Don't give in to its temptations. It's not worth it. Manages to work for him. He manages to get the crown off, and they go and give this crown to the nuns of Shalia. That's the goddess, Shalia. Like the goddess of fertility and good harvest and all this stuff, right?
So they like put it under quarantine or something?
Pretty much. He goes and puts it in a holy temple and goes like, we're going to bury this in the furthest catacombs of this temple where it can never be seen again. And I only want like holy, or like I only want mistresses of a goddess to be taking care of this, because by God is it too evil to be anywhere near a normal guy.
Okay, well, it's awesome they got that necromancer crown off of him.
Yeah, it works. It actually does work, and he gets back to acting normal. Those dudes are still alive. Everything is looking fairly good for Sigmar at this point. Everyone's doing all right. And at this point now, he goes, and, he comes back and wears his crown. He makes reprimands with the guys he was about to kill, all that good jazz. And now we cut to probably one of the battles that you're more familiar with. Remember how I said that there was the Norskins that were raiding a city nearby?
The one that his father helped defend, or
no, another one later on. So I said that like there was that group that Sigmar exterminated because they were blackmailed into helping the Norskins.
Oh, let's call, I guess, the wild men, I guess, for lack of better terms.
Yeah.
Actually, I just realized, do you know what these people sound like? These wild people, or the quote-unquote human shades?
Yeah.
Have you played Skyrim before?
Yeah.
You remember the Forsworn in Markarth?
It's been a minute.
Like a very tribal people using a lot of bone weapons, have those like headdresses with the deer, briar hearths.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Is it kind of like them, just non-chaotic?
Yes, yeah, kind of. They don't have too much description. It's just this thing of more nomad than nomads, and it's like, oh, okay.
Well, again, their whole shtick is like they don't really establish towns. You just live in the wilderness as best they can, like having very crude, maybe spikes around caves, forests, whatever.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And they appear
Anyway, sorry
like
for the tangent.
shadows and just kill things and disappear.
Anyway, sorry for the tangent. But yeah, he's going after these wild folk, or going back to them, right?
Well, the wild folk are kind of like whatever they're dealt with. We're going back to the Norskins that blackmailed these wild folk.
Oh, okay. Now he's going to those guys. All right.
Yeah, yeah. So we go back to this when, Sigmar is dealing with these, or we're going back to these Norskins that were raiding towns and sacking places and burning stuff to the ground, making monuments to corn of just skulls and stuff, all this. And this is actually being led by, wouldn't you know it, Azazel and those two dudes who basically found him at the shoreline from earlier.
Oh boy, he's back.
He's back. At this point, Azazel is still a human. He's still Gideon. And, well, okay. There is a lot of scenes of where they go, yes, you, Empireman, or Gideon. And he goes, don't refer to me by that name. Just because I was born there doesn't mean anything. I'm chosen of the gods at this point, and I'm just as much a Norskin as you. And he goes, okay, whatever. And so it's this Cornate dude, this Zechian dude, and Azazel who are just going around and just ransacking places. They're doing enough damage that eventually they get this big chaos army going. A bunch of the tribes gather around, and even the Beastmen at this point are just seeing so much chaotic energy that they join into the fight. They just come walking out of the woods, just...
Oh, it's the same guys that got him off that raft in the last episode?
Yep. Because they foresaw, it's like, Azazel, you're going to be a chosen of the Chaos Gods, and you will actually go and exterminate the flame of ULRIC.
Okay. All right, now we're getting somewhere.
Yeah, now things are looking interesting now. So they're gathering this big force, and, well, Sigmar, sure enough, knows about this big force, and they head to, I think, Middenheim to defend the flame of ULRIC and defend against this giant, basically it's a wog of chaos, just beastmen and, every different tribe, Nurgle boys, Khorne boys, Zeets boys, Slanesh boys, all of them are there, all of them are ready to fight. And
Azazel almost sounds like one of the Ever-Chosens.
He plays a role like you're foreshadowing actually, and you don't even know it actually.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll find out later. So, anyways, there's a battle going on, and all of these guys are all of these guys are coming forth to fight, and the Empire has gathered all their forces to defend the flame of ULRIC. They go and they fight for days on end, and eventually the Chaos guys are realizing it's like, this isn't going anywhere. And the Zechian guy goes up to the Cornate dude and goes, I have a plan. You may bring an offering to your god of Khorne or Karneth and ascend to a level that is beyond the mortal coil. And what they do is they bring out all of these sacrifices and put this giant pit, just cause all these sacrifices, spill all this blood. And the Khorne dude goes into the blood thinking he's going to, I guess, ascend to Demon Prince of Khorne. Instead, what happens is he ascends as a bloodthirster.
Oh, a bloodthirster.
I didn't know this was how this works, or if this has ever worked like this in the past. So he basically just goes, I've made a phenomenal mistake, and ascends as a bloodthirster Khorne and just loses himself to the bloody god.
Is it actually him, or was he like the final sacrifice to summon this said bloodthirster?
It sounds like his soul is taken into the warp so that this bloodthirster can basically ascend through his body. I don't really know if he's present in there or not.
Okay, but either way, it sounds like you said, a sacrifice pin, then boom, giant ass bloodthirster. Big ass bloodthirster to lead the forces. And, now there's a bloodthirster and Azazel just leading this chaos faction to just try and take Middenheim. And it's this big ass battle, and then eventually they realize it's like, shit, there's also the barrows. We need to make sure that we can, I think they go into the barrows to try and try to sweep around and take them from surprise. But when they go into the barrows of the city, they go like, what's that weird, you guys hear something? I smell something too. It's kind of, why do I hear it chittering? Then all of a sudden the Skaven come out of the holes and start attacking them. Well, the Skaven are involved now?
Now the Skaven are involved on top of that. They weren't prior, but they were in the burrows just I guess Chaos was just, doing enough that they decided to get involved.
Oh boy, so now they're being attacked by only like Warriors of Chaos, Norskins, like Beastmen, but now also Skaven from down under, it sounds.
Yeah, it's literally just every Chaos force that's just coming in to attack them at this point. Like, the only thing left are the Druki, basically.
And the Chaos Dwarves. I doubt those guys are here.
Well, funny you should... No, I'm kidding. They don't actually get involved with Chaos.
I was going to say, I doubt that they came for this.
All of a sudden, just be like, Flying Bull just comes in. The smiling fucking cow just comes in to wreck shit. No. No. The smiling cow does not make an appearance yet. So, things are looking rough. Things are looking real bad. And Sigmar's guys are in the lower depths of the city, fighting off Skaven. They look like they're about to get overrun. And then when you know it, the Dowie show up once again in the mines, just like ready to help out.
Oh, so the dwarves come through the catacombs like the Skaven did?
Yep, yeah. I don't know why they're there, but they just, happen to be there at this point.
I mean, hey, anything will help. Any help is good, I guess, at this point.
They'll take it, right? Like, I think they still have iron breakers at this point. So it's like, yeah, just send in the exterminators to just, like, C4 these rat bastards to high hell.
Oh, nice. I love the iron breakers in the game.
They're so fun. They're so cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they just go down there, C4 these bastards, and just get them all to just scurry back into the shadows, scurry back into their hovels. And meanwhile, on the upper area, Sigmar is fighting off all forces of chaos, and all of a sudden that bloodthirster shows up and is like, all right, here we go. It's like, I see you approaching me. And Sigmar goes and fights the bloodthirster in one-on-one combat with his Warhammer and just takes that thing out and just slams his Warhammer into the beast's chest and just sends it back into the warp.
Nice.
This scene is enough that basically all of the Empire are rallied enough to fight, and a lot of chaos is starting to, waver at this point, being like, that's our kind of ace in the hole, that's our general, and once again, he's just gone. It's pretty much the orc situation. Azazel has been fighting on the walls and on the ramparts, and at one point he kills someone who used to be a good friend of his, and has a moment of, like, regret, of being like, oh shit, we were good friends. And he takes an arrow to the shoulder, and at that point, he retreats away. They aren't able to kill Azazel, obviously, but he retreats away, and the Zechian dude is kind of like, what the hell are you doing? I saw you were supposed to be taking out the flame of ULRIC. I saw it in a vision. And Azazel's response is, maybe one day, but not today.
He just is like, what, Skeletor running away?
Pretty much, yeah. And he just runs off. He's like, I don't give a shit what you say, Zechian, man. Get the hell out of my way. And he runs off. He just gets out of dodge. And that's effectively the big battle. I mean, again, paraphrasing a lot, but that's the big battle of Middenheim, and he defends ULRIC's flame. Sigmar is now a demon slayer, an orc chieftain killer. He's proved his mettle, and he's now like this, just this champion amongst champions of mortals. This is where he gets his legacy of being a, god in mortal flesh.
I knew that Sigmar fought off some chaos, but I thought it was just Norskin raids. I didn't realize it was actually this big chaos battle. That was not what I thought the third event I mentioned earlier was, really.
Yeah, no, it's a whole gathering of everything of chaos, like I said, except for Chaos Dwarves and Druki. But everything else has come full tide. Just the chaos or the beastmen are just like, oh, it sounds like there's a scuffle. Let's get in on this.
Yeah, fortunately, that's how it is in lore. The beastmen are pretty much like the second-rate guys with the Warriors of Chaos.
Yeah. Which is just so funny to me, just being like, the only time it's like they just ride the coattail.
Oh, yeah, totally. Like an example was I was reading some Godric and Felix a long time ago, and there was like a big Beastman war band that was like raiding places, but the reason why was because it was like a Warrior of Chaos champion was literally leading them and making sure they didn't fight amongst themselves.
That's pretty perfect. I love that.
Yeah, it was like the only reason they were able to get shit done was because of that guy. Well, actually, it was actually a woman in clad like black armor. Now that I remember.
Oh shit.
Yeah. I forget. Unfortunately, I forget the details of the story, but it was like this black like chaos warrior woman, like clad in blackened armor, just leading this beastman herd. And like the beastmen, they tried to fight her, but she was actually skilled enough to take them down. Any like usurpers and just lead them.
So it's pretty much the same as like a orc chieftain, just being like, if you're big and tough enough, it's like you can gather the beastmen under one banner and get them to stop infighting for long enough to actually do something.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna hear, and then she definitely heard grumbling from like different beastmen. Like there was one Bray shaman that was like grumbling that he didn't like that a woman was leading them and all that, but he shut him up real quick. She shut him up.
I do love that of just being like the beastmen are such a like they're so useless, but they manage to just stay alive and just like hang in there by just surviving in the dark forest where no one wants to go.
Well, yeah, I mean, the guerrilla warfare does go a long way.
Yeah. Especially when you can't get along with your own men.
Mm-hmm.
God, I love them. They're just so stupid.
I am glad that they actually are like, they do a lot more in the game Total Warhammer than they ever could in lore.
Yeah, exactly. The fact that they're a playable faction is like beyond anything lore comprehensible. I mean, similar to the Lizardmen, honestly. Like the Lizardmen are active, but they're always in Lustria.
Yeah, but the difference is that the Lizardmen are not hiding away. They just are just vibing there just because that's what the Great Plan dictates now, right?
Pretty much. It's like one of these days, these plaques will say something. Meanwhile, the beastmen are just like breaking down trees and then getting killed by wood elves and then running for the next tree.
Yeah, but if there was some plaque on the Lizard that said genocide everything, they will at least give their damnness to try to do that. You will know.
They'll be productive. Well, and they also won't infight. That's the other thing, you know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, especially. Definitely.
Yeah. So that might be a game changer right there.
Mm-hmm. No, definitely.
God, I love it. Just like the stupidity of the beastmen, because they always just show up just mooing, just like coming out of the dark forest, just being like, oh, I guess we got some extra forces. Sweet. And then they're always the first to leave.
They're literally like the Chaos version of the Orcs, where they are big, dumb brutes, but the reason why is that if they actually get united and get enough numbers and monsters, then they're actually a force to be reckoned with. So do not try to underestimate them, but they can still like be chopped up like any regular fodder like in video games. Pretty much.
I think also at this point, someone commented, I think Malagor shows up actually at this fight at one point.
Sean?
Yeah, like with the wings, yeah.
I didn't realize he was that old. I knew that he was against Sigmar and all that, but I thought that was later on for like religious purposes and all that. Huh, okay.
I mean, maybe, I don't know. I think he shows up at this. I mean, it might be a thing where it's like, oh, they describe a raven feathered beast man flying around like a shaman. Because I know they do some weird, there's a weird point in this where the beastmen actually turn other humans into beastmen, like using magic.
Oh, okay.
I was like, I didn't know they could do that.
Well, I mean, weren't the beastmen made from like dark magic fusing men and beasts together?
They were, yeah. So they kind of just like, I guess the beastmen could just create other beastmen by doing that and just being like, and you are now a pig man boar thing that will just like, so that's one thing that the humans deal with is being like, all of a sudden, it's like we're holding the line. And then the center formation turns into a bunch of beastmen and start eating everyone else.
Jeez. So like what? It's like you have this Norskin, let's say a Norskin berserker with dual axe, and then Bray shaman says, yes, you're good, but here's an improvement, and just gives like a Minotaur head or something like that.
Oh, not even that. Like the Empire.
Oh, they were turning the Empire guys. Oh, I see. Okay. Sorry, I misheard you.
Well, I didn't include that fact of being like, it wasn't just a situation of like, oh yes, like other chaos forces. He can just willy-nilly being like, praise be to Sigmar, and all of a sudden that dude's just like mid-sentence just.
Oh, you know what that actually reminds me of? Do you know about Morgur the Shadow Gave?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, his whole shtick, like, I don't know if he appears at this time. I think he was born in Bretonia for a bit. He's like the only beastman I know that's kind of immortal. His whole shtick is that he's so chaos corrupted that if anyone goes near him, they just turn into chaos spawn. It's sort of like that from the sound of it.
Oh, God, I didn't even know that. Okay. Yeah, it's very similar.
Oh, yeah, and like in the game, for example, with Morgur, his ability is that if there's some unit, and again, it's like infantry usually, that's like less than 20% health, he can just insta-kill them and then just make chaos spawn that way.
Oh, God. I didn't know that. That's awful.
And another thing as well, I think on the tabletop, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't play, but this is just what I heard, is like on the tabletop with Morgur, it's like, you know how sometimes like your units can route? So when they route on the tabletop, you got to do like a little roll for a test to see like if they are fleeing or if they can actually like rally and stand their ground, right?
Yep.
The thing about him is that if it's on his side, and I think even the enemy, but let's say his side, if they're routed, he can just be like, nope, zap, and turn him into chaos spawn. And one way that people cheesed it was that because it's a point-based system that they have Morgr and nothing but Chaos Warhounds who have shit leadership, and when they are running, they just get so many Chaos spawn all at once.
Oh God! And the worst
which are
part
way more
too,
expensive than Hounds, but it's like free Chaos spawn just because they failed the morale tests.
Yeah, and what sucks too is that like the Chaos Hounds would be like moving fast as hell, so they would be getting into melee and then immediately turning into Chaos Spawn. It's not even like you can take them out from a range unless you manage to go first. That sucks.
And that's just from his side. He can also do the enemy side too, but that's just one way I heard that people were cheesing it back in tabletop. But I think it may be nerfed, but I think it was just something that back then when he was first introduced.
I mean, I don't think he's a tabletop mini anymore. I think he's taken out of commission.
Well, yeah, when Warhammer Fantasy ended, I'm guessing that's the case.
Yeah, but I mean, maybe he'll come back, because I mean, I know they're doing the old world again, so maybe he'll come back with that.
I mean, he should. He was born like around that time, I think, or at least he was wandering around. He is like an immortal guy that when he dies, he's just reborn somewhere else.
Well, because it would be lame as hell to bring back the old world and not bring back these characters that are now like iconic because of the Total War games. Like that's how I got into it.
And we know that war back then. Like I expect Malekith to be in that tabletop eventually.
God, please give me an updated Malekith model. His old model is so bad.
Oh, really? I have not actually seen it. The old one. I've just seen like artwork of him that actually looks good. Let me see.
Yeah, the issue is just the dragon.
Oh yeah, it was like back with the really skinny dragon models.
Mm-hmm. It was back when it was just like these resin worm things, unfortunately. So, I mean, I want Malarian. I want a Malarian model. I need a Malarian model, please.
Malarian? Who was that again?
Oh, the lore is that when Malekith went and became, okay, in Age of Sigmar, there's not a lot of stuff I like about Age of Sigmar. What I do like is that once Malekith went into the Chaos Portal and went into the Realm of Shadows, he fused with his Chaos Dragon, or with his Black Dragon, and basically has turned into a Dragon Druki hybrid thing, and took the name Malarian instead, once he became a god.
Oh, I had no idea about that. I didn't really look into Age of Sigmar, not really my shtick, to be honest with you.
I'm in the same boat. Like, I know very little about it, but I do like some parts. And by God, the idea of Malekith being this Black Dragon Druki shadow god is metal as hell.
Actually, that's pretty interesting. And yet again, a huge tangent from our boy Sigmar. Damn it.
God damn it, every time. Malekith, you need to stop being so cool. Sigmar kills Bloodthirster. Oh, that's a Sunday. What about Malekith?
It's like, is Malekith ever going to get a W again?
Well, he did fight, actually, you say that, and he fought Archaon and slapped his shit in.
Well, that's end time stuff. That's not really that good stuff anyway, but yeah.
Well, like Age of Sigmar stuff, I mean, but like, yeah.
Or Age of Sigmar, sorry, yeah. And of course, like Grimgor, we know he kicked Archaon the balls and like headbutted him too.
Okay, that got rewritten.
Oh, what?
That got reworked. Now it's a cool fight that they have. He doesn't just kick him in the balls and leaves.
Oh, no, I knew about that. I thought, like, first he kicked in the balls, then they had the fight once Archaon, like, reposed himself or, like, composed himself again.
Oh, no, the old lore was that he kicked him in the balls and then he walked away laughing and they never saw him again.
Okay, I knew about that version. I just thought that was an update based off of that, but okay.
Oh, yeah, all right. No. I don't think he kicks him in the balls in the new version, but I could be mistaken.
Okay, well, I do know they had an epic fight. I did know that one.
Yeah. So back to Sigmar then. One other thing I should note is that the old crone at this point was also killed at one point by Azazel and that Zechian dude.
Oh, she was actually killed?
Yeah, they literally just show up at her lair and they commit the thrice death to her.
Wait, before or after the fight?
Before, quite a bit before. I just forgot to add that detail in. I
didn't realize that, because from the way you made it sounded like the crone was just traveling via the woods, just popping up here and there.
Well, she is, but she does have like this base of operations, sort of like hag hut that she's at, and they find her there and kill her.
Oh.
I don't know why. I don't know. It doesn't, I guess just because like, oh, Sigmar no longer has a guide or anything like that. But I'm like, well, it's Sigmar. Like he's going to be proactive regardless. But anyways.
Sure.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of weird, but anyways, she dies. Just thought I'd throw that out there. But fortunately, it doesn't matter because Sigmar still saves the Empire and, drives the Norskins back out north, and the Beastmen run back into the woods, and all is good once more. And Sigmar, from this point, I guess I'll leave it on this note of being like, Sigmar from this point basically is like, next step to do. We saw Gurion, we know that prick's still alive, or Zazel. We're gonna go and chase him down and exterminate the Norskins.
Oh, he's gonna have a crusade in Norska?
Pretty much. He's going to crusade Norska and just wipe them off. And he does go full, like, exterminatus on them. And Azazel, at this point, there's a scene of him just, like, kind of watching a settlement get razed to the ground. He's just hanging out on, like, in some cave. And this little kid comes running up, like, to flee away from Sigmar's razing, and comes running up to Azazel. And Azazel looks at him and goes, all right, kid, come with me. There's a way out of here. We can get out of here and not get slaughtered. And he looks at the kid and he goes like, all right, boy, you're going to be like hanging out with me. I'm going to teach you the ways of the Chaos Gods. What's your name? And he goes, oh, my name is Morcar. Which, if you remember...
I know that name.
Yeah. So remember you said, it was like, isn't it interesting how Azazel's basically an Everchosen? He literally trains the first Everchosen.
The very first one. I did not realize that part.
Yeah. Under the tutelage of this prick.
Again, it's very interesting because Azazel, like, he probably has not done, but we know, like, spoiler alert, he turns into a demon prince of Slaanesh eventually.
Yeah, that part is actually never covered, so I don't know how he ascends to that point.
Oh, maybe it's later on in life, perhaps.
Yeah, it's never covered in the books, unfortunately.
Okay, but either way, that's very interesting. You said it was, what was his name again? Morcar, right?
Morcar, yeah.
Morcar, the very first. Yeah, I know. That's the very first ever chosen, actually.
So that's who he's tuteled under, and then ascends to becoming the first ever chosen. And I think later on, Morcar is killed by Sigmar as well, but in a battle. But that also won't get covered in the books, unfortunately. It's just a thing that happens.
Ah, okay.
But either way, like, we've covered a lot of the things that Sigmar does. He is a proactive dude. He fights so many battles throughout these books.
I mean, no wonder the current Empire thinks he's a god. He did so much.
Yeah, well, everyone else is just kind of hanging out, fighting amongst each other. He's fighting dragon ogres, he's banging Amazonians, he's fighting bloodthirsters, he's doing everything.
I mean, he's pretty much like the human equivalent of an Aryan for the son of it, just of like how much he is able to do.
Yeah, pretty much. You gotta think, Anarian did all this stuff with like the perks of being an immortal elf. He did this within the lifespan of a normal guy.
Yeah.
So kind of wild. But this is not the end of the Sigmar narrative. He'll have a bit more in the next episode, but for now, this is where I'm going to leave us. Are there any questions you have for me, sir, before I take us home, or?
Okay, well, question. That Amazonian woman, Freya, right?
Yes, yeah.
Does Sigmar have like a relationship with her, or is he like just so in love with Irina he doesn't really have any other lover or like a marriage of any kind?
Oh, you made me feel like such an idiot because I forgot the most key point of like this narrative was that when Ravina died, Sigmar made a vow being like, henceforth I will not sire any heirs and I will not take a wife. My lineage and my legacy will be the people of the Empire itself.
Oh.
So he bangs Freya out of just necessity.
Okay, so he did it just because it was a job, and I'm guessing like he doesn't really feel anything about her then, besides just being a comrade, I guess.
Well, I mean, he goes like, damn, she hot, but like beyond that, like he made the vow, so he's like, I can't really, listen, with my schedule going on, I can't really fit you in, all right?
Just so you know, like, this is just for, like, your thing, really. It's fun for me, but don't expect anything out of it.
Yeah, you get your rocks off. I gotta go and fight fucking bloodthirsters and every monstrosity out there.
So wait, so they get together only once, or is it like a occurring thing here and there?
No, they got together once, and it lasted the whole night, where she was like, he's like, oh God, I can't any longer. She's like, here, take these herbs. They'll keep you going.
Okay, but like you said, like he didn't really fall in love with her or anything like that.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, he's just a thing of like, yeah, well, you gotta do what you gotta do. It's a tough job out here.
Mm-hmm.
And he comes out just sore like he just fought a battle. This is the important narrative that we need to cover. I mean, I read it and I was like laughing my ass off. It's like, there's no way. I think he has the title of being like lover of 1,000 men. So like, that's the other aspect too, is that she's a real free-spirited character being like, she's never going to just settle down, be some housewife. It's not happening.
Okay, because I wasn't sure, like, about that, just about her character and, like, how much of a... Because, again, like, she wasn't just a hit and quit. Like, she was there next to him, like, in so many other battles, too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She was there at every major battle to be like, I'm here to back you up. Me and my Amazonian, battle mistresses are here to do the job.
Yeah, so, like, she was there, like, probably, like, his closest lieutenant or whoever.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Or being like, it was a thing that when they went to war, like, every tribe leader kind of led their own people.
Oh, yeah, understood that. But like you said, like, it was a friendship, but there was only, like, a one-night stand, and then that was it. Like, it wasn't anything else, kind of like how Anarian Marathi, like, he only kept her just because he needed someone to talk to. Yeah,
no, it's nothing like that. It was a hit and quit it for both parties, and it's like they're just, like, good friends about it.
I mean, I think that's fine as long as like there's nothing awkward or they're just fine with each other about it.
Yeah. You know what, this character, like the Queen Freya, she reminds me of, you ever watch the Witcher Netflix series?
Only the first season, and I don't think I watched the second one, and then like once Henry Cavill was out, I just did not care anymore.
I mean, that's understandable, and I'm in a similar boat, but I saw the third season, and I was like, I don't even care in general. Like, I don't know why I'm still watching. But point was just being like, she's kind of like the queen from the first season.
It's been so long, I completely forgot about that. The only people I remember was Geralt, Jaskier, I think was his name, or Dandelion.
Dandelion, yeah.
In our language, and Yennefer.
Yeah, there's just the one scene where it's like Ciri's grandmother, and she comes out in battle armor and goes like, beer. And I'm like, that's kind of the vibe with Freya.
Okay.
And yeah, so that's kind of like, yeah. And then beyond that, everyone else is just under good relations with the Empire and with Sigmar, and he's building up his kingdom, and things are advancing for the people. Like, things are looking better. Sigmar's dream is coming to fruition, but he's just constant depresso about his dearly departed beloved.
Yeah, it does suck. Like, he did really love her. It wasn't just a she hot sort of thing.
Yeah, pretty much. So, that's kind of lingering on his mind for the remainder of his life, actually.
Yeah. But we got some more adventures with Sigmar for next time, right?
We will, yes. I'll be having some more stuff to cover. I'm sure you already know, like, the next part. You said there's 3 big things. You already know.
Well, yeah, I mean, I was wrong. There was 4 because I completely forgot the whole chaos thing with the first ever chosen. But there's one that I think will happen. I hope I'm not wrong with it because it involves a certain character that you already covered before.
Yeah, you already know. All right, shall I take us home?
Yes, good sir, and thank you. And very sorry for the tangents and all the Malekith talk.
Hey, man, that's what we're here for. We're here for the tangents. We arrive for the tangents.
Let's see if I mention Malekith 3 times next time on episode 3, just cause.
Listen, it's basically just at this point, the show is just one-upping each other to see how many times we can bring up Malekith or the High King of the Dwarves.
Well, you never even mentioned the High King's name. He's just High King of the Dwarves, that's it.
Well, okay, the High King. There's going to be a reference to one of the High Kings. There's about 1 billion of them.
Yeah, but like there's only like 2 or 3 that I know of that are actually cool. Thorgrim Grudgebear, there was like Snorri's dad, as well as, again, I think another Snorri as well later on.
Snorri Whitebeard, the original, the OG.
Yeah, of course.
Malekith's buddy, let's go. It all comes full circle.
Yeah, Snorri Whitebeard, Thorgrim Grudgebearer, and sorry, I forget, but Prince Snorri's dad. I forget what was his name, Gotrek Starbreaker or something.
That was the one, yeah. Gotrek Starbreaker.
Yeah, those are the 3 main ones there.
I mean, listen, the High King of this narrative is cool, but they don't have enough for him to be like doing like cool shit like with a big magic Warhammer or anything like that. Unfortunately, I don't get too much of that in the books.
Well, I know, and this was Sigmar's story, obviously, there.
Yeah, yeah. But even so, it was like with reading about Malekith, it was like you still had Snorri doing cool stuff because he had a magical great axe that was like Mjolnir. There's nothing about that in this. But anyways, all right, I should take us home before we go on another tangent, yes?
Yes, pretty much.
All right. Well, in that case, thank you again for acting as my co-host, kind sir. And thank you all so much for listening to this episode. Like he said, we'll be covering more of Sigmar in the next episode as well. It's gonna be a fun one. I'm looking forward to it. And we'll see you all then. Take care, all.